Hello and welcome back to the Northwest Trenches podcast.
Welcome to the evil
Ooh,
Learn How to Be Evil podcast.
oh my.
We teach you how to be a villain. We teach you how to be villainous.
Yeah?
Real villainous.
Do you mean
teach you how
do you mean morally or do you mean in general?
Like the Joker
Ooh,
type of villain.
okay.
So do with that information what you will, but I think it's about time we start getting into our first evil topic. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah.
I think it's time to...
Israel.
I think it's...
Israel. The first evil topic is Israel.
Oh, man.
All right. Listen, this is Stone Cold Steve Anti-Zionism. We don't f with Israel on the Evil podcast. Can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. What?
I don't know if we can start with the evil podcast being about Israel in that way.
No. Well, the evil podcast, actually, I retconned it. This isn't the evil podcast anymore, and we're not going to be talking about how evil Israel is. It's the Northwest Trenches podcast, and we're going to be... I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about today, but...
we got options. We got a new Mission Impossible movie out officially.
Yeah.
And they finally retconned the movie before it when it comes to the title. So it's no longer Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's just Dead Reckoning.
Oh, they ain't making another.
And then this new movie is called Final Reckoning.
Oh. Final Reckoning. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I've never actually seen any of the Mission Impossible movies, and that's a true fact. That because, like, I always figured. So you have Mission Impossible 1, right? Then they made Mission Impossible 2.
Yep.
Okay. Clearly, the first mission was possible. All right. So they made Mission Impossible 2. They made another one called Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah. That one has Sean Penn. I don't know if 2 has Sean Penn in it, too.
Well, all I know is that the last 2 fucking impossible missions they've been on have been possible, and they did the mission. So you lead me to believe that you have, like, how many movies are in the series now?
There's now 8. So there are at
8
least
movies.
7 possible missions.
Yeah. Why are they still calling it Mission Impossible? I mean, like... I just don't understand. Every mission so far that we have seen has been possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or has been possible, right? Is this one going to be any different? I don't think so.
I don't know. It's called The Final Reckoning. It's the 8th movie in literally 30 years, which is a crazy thing for Tom Cruise to dedicate himself to. And I guess there was a viral video a week and a half ago that I didn't even see until recently, where Tom Cruise eats popcorn like he's in the 1970s. He grabs a handful and he shuffles it, and then he goes, "Home," into his face. Just launches it straight into his face.
Respect. That's like the best way to eat popcorn. You get like the most. You get a bunch.
Yeah, but he doesn't like
One
shovel it
little
in.
at a
He just
time.
throws it at his face.
Oh, and he throws it?
Yeah.
Does he have like what's his like accuracy rate?
It's like, I don't know, like 20%.
He's
Something like that.
He's just throwing popcorn at his face. He's getting like 2 pieces in his mouth, and he's calling that like a snack.
Yeah.
Dude, the more I learn about Mission Impossible, the more I'm never gonna watch those movies. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the one guy can't even eat popcorn right, yet you're telling me he did 7 impossible missions and made them possible.
Yeah.
Fucking lying. That's bullshit. There's only so much like fiction I can take. You know, I like my movies to be realistic and based in reality, but that's a little out of reality for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
For me, it's a franchise that we reference here and there. Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, Paul Walker.
There are so many Fast and Furious movies.
There's like 25.
Furious movies or something, dude.
There's like 9 Fast and Furious movies.
There's like 45 of these fucking things, dude. I don't know what to do with them all.
And
I ain't got that kind of time.
it's
I
like
have 2 days
it's like
worth of
Friday
Fast
the
and Furious in front
13th.
of me.
There's just fucking 15 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fast and Furious has 9 mainstay movies. But if I go through my memory banks, I don't think I watched the first 3 ever, which is atrocious to do.
Definitely seen the first one. I think that's it.
I've watched Fast and Furious, which is the 4th one. Then there's Fast 5. And Fast 5 is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's first movie for them.
Did he replace Paul Walker?
No, I don't think anybody's replaced Paul Walker.
Oh,
except for
damn.
British lady number 7 from the 6th movie.
So they put her in, like, they dressed her up as a guy, and she's like, "Oh, Puerto Rico! I'm gonna drive me car through a guardrail and die!"
Well, the British lady from Fast and
This
Furious.
car's not right-hand drive! I'm Puerto Rico! I don't know how to drive this car!
She's supposed to be like a renowned hacker, and she's really integral, and she's best friends with Ludacris, who I forget what his movie name is completely.
Ludacris.
But Ludacris is like obviously flirting with this girl in every single movie. And she's like, I'm British. I'm really fucking cool.
I'm British and I'm your friend Paul Walker. You can't have sex with me or it's gay.
And it's weird because they like write it in that like Ludacris gets cock blocked every single time he tries to flirt with her.
Every time he tries to fuck Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
And then well, I guess in Too Fast, Too Furious, which was the second movie.
The second one.
That's when Tyrese is introduced. And since Vin Diesel is not in that movie, it's kind of written a little gay between Tyrese and Paul Walker's character, who I think is called Brian. I may be wrong.
This is like the original Paul Walker, not his British female replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a bit
I didn't
of
know Paul Walker was gay.
Yeah, there was a bit of gay baiting on accident because of how bad Too Fast, Too Furious' script was at times.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jason Momoa and Jack Black in the Minecraft movie. That kind of like gay baiting.
Yeah, and that's also kind of like Stephen King's obsession with like children's genitalia in his book.
What the fuck? Where is this coming from? What?
I don't know. I just thought about it just now, and I was like, wow, he really talks about kids' balls and their penises and their vaginas all the time in his books and movies. It's really weird.
I know Stephen King wrote that terrible scene in It.
Yeah,
and
well,
then they
he has
cut it
another
out
one
of the
too.
movies.
Yeah, well, like, they had to. Who wants to watch that shit unfold on fucking TV?
Yeah.
But he wrote another one. It's the basis for Stand By Me. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this. It happens in the book and in the movie where Stephen King just wrote. I don't know why, but he wrote this section about how, like, on their way to see the dead body, they find this pond or whatever, like next to the railroad tracks. So like they all like strip down to their skivvies and fucking, which all, by the way, writing about, boys in their underwear, that's kind of fucking weird on its own.
Yeah.
So they're like swimming around, then like they all get out and they have leeches all over them, and then the main character's like, I had a leech on my testicle and I tried to get one of the other boys to pull it off and he wouldn't, so I had to do it myself, and it burst in my hand and there was blood all over my balls and my hand.
Jesus.
And I fainted. That's essentially what happens. And like,
do you think Stephen King takes a certain pill that gives him all these weird thoughts and that's what he writes down?
Well, he was on cocaine and he was probably like trapped in his fucking shitty house all the time, getting like high as shit, getting drunk as shit, and just like being a degenerate. So like, I guess degenerate thoughts and let me think.
Yeah.
Degenerate behaviors lead to degenerate thoughts, I guess, is my thing.
So you're saying
I think
Stephen King would have been a gooner?
Absolutely, he was definitely a gooner. For 100%. Look at a picture of that guy now and tell me it was not a gooner back in the day. But
Man.
and I think there was like some weird sexual abuse stuff too in Carrie, and Carrie's 16 in that book, I believe. I don't know. That guy Stephen King's fucking weird, man. However, he did write what was that movie with Estevez, fucking Maximum Overdrive, where the cars come alive and start killing people.
The fucking Green Goblin
that was a
semi-truck.
good one. I'll give it to him.
Hard.
That was a very good one. And Stephen King directed that movie himself. And one of his stipulations was they needed to include a part from the book where like a lawnmower runs over a child.
Jesus.
And they just they're like, whatever, Steven, like whatever you want to do, man. So he did it.
I don't know if I keep retreading the Fantastic Four movie that's coming up. I don't know if I keep doing that like every week. But I'll try to go somewhere else with it. So
yeah, we need a better topic after what I just laid out.
So my guess for how Robert Downey Jr. is in Fantastic Four and not Iron Man is that he is still Tony Stark, and they still do the scientific plot MacGuffin experiment from the older Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Alba, I think. Like they use that same plot as like a stepping stone, but it's Tony Stark instead of Victor Von Doom heading up with them. So he still gets like the Victor Von Doom treatment of being essentially disappeared into a different dimension or planet, and he has to survive that instead of surviving Afghanistan.
I think that they should make Tony Stark get an apprentice, and it's a girl, like a black woman, and like she wears the Iron Man suit, puts it on, and she's like, I'm gonna need some adjustments on this, and Tony's like, well, but that's my suit, and and the black girl protagonist is like, well, blah, 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 I'm black and I'm female, so you got to do it. So he does it, and he makes like a girl Iron Man suit out of his old Iron Man suit, and then like she goes to fight the villain or whatever, and all the people are there, and they're like, oh my god, it's Iron Man, and this is like the apex of the movie. This is supposed to be the best part of the movie right here, and they're like, oh my god, it's Iron Man. Look at how he's kicking that guy's ass, and like the bad guy's really beat up, and like the black girl Iron Man's like, no, I ain't Iron Man, I'm Iron Woman.
Fuck yeah,
and then she like blasts him with the camera or with the hand cannon thing, and fucking kills the bad guy or whatever, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's Black Iron Woman. Oh my god, she's so sassy and ghetto. Oh my god, that's cool.
What's weird is that I think you were watching a guy complain about Ironheart, which
I don't know what that is.
Which is a Disney Plus show where there's a female Tony Stark type girl.
Is she black?
She is black.
Did I just kind of do the plot of that?
Sorta, but she's not as like generic and stereotypical.
But is she like Tony Stark's apprentice and shit? And
well, she's like essentially as smart as Tony Stark, but she makes her own armor and stuff.
But does he teach her how to be Iron Man, I guess? Like how to do Iron Man shit?
No.
Yeah, that's hard. I find that hard to believe.
And that's the issue that came up when they even created the Ironheart lady. in comics is that people are like, this is just a knockoff of Tony Stark. This is bullshit. This is diversity and inclusion all over the place. But she is characterized differently, not because of just her background or just because she is as smart as Tony Stark, but because she is integral for like 6 different storylines throughout like the next, I don't know, like 6 years after she was introduced. Like, she became like a cornerstone piece for a bunch of stories after hers.
What was that shit? Critical race theory. So they basically just did critical race theory to Iron Man.
Well, I don't think so. It's more like they were like trying to create new characters. Like they made Squirrel Girl, and
she's hot.
And they made Gwenpool.
Yeah, she's really hot.
And then they fell off a cliff and they didn't understand how to make new stuff for like 10 years. And then they made Ironheart.
Is there ever a time in Ironheart where she has to like explain the quote unquote socioeconomic issues surrounding being a black woman? Like, and she explains it to a white guy?
Maybe she does that to like a Tony Stark type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she does that, like, I would say probably like 2 years into her comic run. But knowing that there's a lot of woke people in Marvel is probably like issue 5 where she brings something like that
that's
up.
What I thought. I figured there would be a full page graphic of a diatribe of her owning a white racist boomer Republican.
Yeah. I think
she
somebody
saved him, and then he's like, "Oh wow, Ironheart, I'll never be racist again because of you.
There used to
because
be
of
a
you
joke
saving me."
There used to be a joke about Norman Osborn's design in the comics because he straight up had waves in his hair.
Really?
And there was one dude that was like, yo, this is actually, like, I'm down for this. We need more dudes with wavy hair. He gets the pass. Straight up is what the the tweet said. Norman Osborn gets the pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel's had a bad issue of not knowing how to make new characters. And then Disney is like forcing a bunch of woke ideas into their comics all the time.
I have a coworker that's like a closet Marvel fan around his wife.
He pulls up Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on his phone, and then he hides it from his wife.
He says he only watches what did he say? He only watches Marvel movies and what was the other one? It was also really funny. It was like something a lot of people like Marvel. I forget.
Game of
I think
Thrones or some shit.
No, just like action type shit like that. He's like, the only time he told me the only time he can watch it is when his wife goes up to go to bed and he stays up. So I can just imagining him. He's just like sitting there just waiting for the wife to go to bed on a Friday night so he can watch Avengers Age of Ultron. Like he's been thinking about Age of Ultron all day.
I accidentally fell into a voice yesterday when I was like walking around in Walmart.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember what the voice was.
Was it one of those moments like those like TikTok liberal millennials with dyed hair who are like they're like me accidentally finding out I know how to sing. And it's like, have you seen those cringe videos? Yeah, where the motherfucker's just like writing the groceries and is like, la la la. Whoa, where did that come from? Like, oh my god, I
Yeah.
hope fucking Travis the chimp breaks down your front door and tears your hands and genitals off for making that video. I hate that shit so much.
There used to be one where it was like, I learned that I was a very good Discord mod, and the guy's like 500 pounds. He never gets out of his chair. He drinks Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's like bro, did you just found out that you're a really good Discord mod? That's wow. Crazy shit
what
right
was the
there.
fucking voice though? Shit. I think
Sure
it
wasn't
was.
early onsets of schizophrenia or something.
I think the voice I got close to was Kronk.
Oh, Gronk.
Kronk. Kronk.
Gronk. Is that his name? From Emperor?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That was
Kronk.
a good Disney
That's
movie.
what the lady says when she's mad at him.
She's
Kronk.
like, Kronk, you need to re-wet my pussy for me. And he's all like, okay, I'll come wet your pussy for you.
Kronk.
Is that,
She goes like, Kronk.
yeah,
Go fuck yourself.
Is Kronk Joe from Family Guy?
It is. Same
Yeah,
fucking
it's
guy.
funny. Okay. I don't know that actor's name, but
Hey, Peter.
I knew he was in
It's the
Seinfeld for a
closest I
couple
can get right
episodes.
now.
I knew Joe from Family Guy, and apparently Kronk was in like 3 episodes of Seinfeld under the name Putty, so I just know the actor / voice actor is
Hey,
Putty.
Peter. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Like I was getting really close in
Hey,
Walmart,
Peter.
and then it fell out of my face. I could not get back into that area. I
Yeah.
used to do a very good Jerry Seinfeld, where it's like, "What's the deal?" Like I kind of do like a goofy to it.
What's the
What's the deal with airline food?
What's the deal with gay sex? That's more David Schwimmer, I feel like. Run Curry! Go run Curry! Easy company, go run Curry!
I miss. Like now I'm just gonna do a voice acting fucking bit. Some fucking like hillbilly voice. I miss back in my day when people used to use the red tractor and only the damn red tractor.
I don't know, that's not even really an impression.
I know.
That's not an impression. Come on.
What's a good impression here?
Oh, this is my impression of
Of a white
of,
man in America.
yeah, this is my police officer impression, you know. Get on the fucking ground. I'll fucking shoot you. I am the law.
I don't know you. That's the closest Bobby Hill I can do.
I don't know you.
That's a bad one. I shouldn't even have fucking said that.
I
in that
don't
voice.
know
That's
you.
embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I can like nail a voice, and then other times it disappears, and I
Yeah,
don't
well, like
know what
one
that
thing.
is.
Go ahead.
I don't know what that is. I learned
Yeah.
the other day that I can sing very bassy, so I'm trying to get more bassy voices going, and it's not working.
Yeah, one thing I learned just from like studying comedians that are known for doing impressions, usually they have like their good ones that they're like really fucking good at,
Yeah.
and they have the rest of them that are passive. So like that's quite literally how they do it though. So my whole thing is like I try and focus on like what can I make one of my best impressions? All right, I got Trump up there, I got Bam Margera up there. Steve-O's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
dude.
can, you know, Stone Cold. I'm getting better at Stone
Give
Cold.
me
He's
a
gonna be
goddamn
my-
hell yeah, brother.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, you got to get into the gruffy bit. It's
Yeah,
tough.
I have to add like the almost like death metal vocals
Yeah.
to that. But
Stone Cold's one of my favorites to do. I follow him on Instagram all the time, and he's always talking about his cats killing shit.
and every time he's describing his cats, I'm sitting there just like, what?
What?
Oh,
This is Poncho. What?
Yeah, this is Poncho right here. He's a killing machine.
He really likes eating all the rats around the barn. What?
He fought off 12 raccoons. I gave him a beer afterwards.
What?
Yeah, these cats drink a 12-pack a day.
What? It's really funny when he does the what with the crowd.
No. I know, whenever he just like drops some heat and he just hits him with a what, that's so sad.
It's like he's literally losing his mind. Like he's going into schizo mode.
You scrawny little coward bitch pussy, what?
That's so nasty. That's so nasty to fucking say.
There was a thing that we brought up today when I was doing outside stuff, outside of this room type stuff.
Jesus, you go outside.
Yeah, it's crazy. We need a 20-second video of me touching grass to play every time I say I'm outside.
Yeah, just to prove it, because I don't believe you, honestly. I think you're lying to me again. On live in front of all the viewers, I think you're lying to me again.
All 750 viewers because of clickbait we didn't mean to make.
Yeah. For the record, we did talk about Theo Von.
We talked about it for like a minute at most.
Yeah.
And then some fucking goober that I deleted the comment of because I was scared.
Never delete comments again. I want to talk to these people. I want to throw in a
But some
timestamp.
goober was like, all these fucking guys do is talk on a call for an hour. They're fucking stupid.
That was just
There's no
two
Theo
retards.
Von on here.
Yeah, he according to you, what you told me he said was, this was just two retards talking for an hour. Theo Von wasn't mentioned, which, okay, he's half correct. We are two retards talking for upwards of an hour on our podcast.
I mean,
I'm not denying
that's
those
all the
allegations.
podcast is. It's just two dudes talking.
From the beginning, that's what it's been, and we've always been open about this. But us not talking about Theo Von, freaking... Go back and look, because we did. We touched on the subject. Therefore, we can.
Listen here, you little fucking scrawny loser. This is our show, and if you were gonna fuck with our show, we're gonna put you through the wall. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
That's right, and that's how it's gonna be. Stone Cold's gonna come and get you, suplex you, and slam you, and then hit you with a stunner at the end. Hell yeah!
What?
I smash a fucking 8 beer cans over my head. I'm bleeding. Yeah, that's how I felt.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just we got one guide by that comment, and I was scared that it was gonna start stacking like the My Hero Academia video that's on the channel. And I started getting scared. I was like, "Oh shit! I should probably kick this comment off."
No, never do that again. Never do that again. It makes us look like pussies and like we can't take criticism.
Yeah,
we can't do that.
It was just really funny because it was accidental clickbait.
Yeah,
it was accidental clickbait, and people got mad.
We were like, whatever. I guess we can just title it the Theo Von shit. That was like the freshest thing in our mind.
Yeah.
Like that's a current event we talked about.
But on the walk, we also mentioned stuff. Oh shit! I just leaked. It leaked. It's fine. But if you understand previous podcast episodes, I talk about my walk that I do every once in a while, anyways. So it's fine. We mentioned stuff from 2009 is officially over 15 years old, over 16 in some cases.
Rough. That's rough.
I was like, oh shit, I can remember so much from 2009 because Drew Brees and the Saints won a Super Bowl that year, and that goes kind of hard.
Yeah, I remember being in 3rd grade in 2000.
Yeah.
2009. Yeah.
2009 was a different time. John Cena and Randy Orton were still in their primes, and they traded the WWE title multiple times throughout the year. Shawn Michaels was still wrestling. Triple H was still wrestling. Goes kind of hard. Undertaker was still wrestling on a daily basis.
He was undertaking in the action of wrestling. That's why they called him the Undertaker.
Yeah, he was facing CM Punk every 2 months and going, "You're gay," on the mic. Wait, let me do the Undertaker voice. I can try here. "You're gay."
Dude,
It's just a promo every time.
Do you think the CM in CM Punk stands for child molesting?
Maybe that's why he keeps it as CM and nothing else.
Yeah.
He's afraid.
Yeah.
He's afraid he'll get canceled. Oh. But
Oh my God.
Rey Mysterio was still on the roster, and Batista was still there. Chris Jericho was still there. Big Show teamed with Chris Jericho as Jericho. Goes kind of hard.
Oh, wow.
Goes kind of hard.
I wonder how long it took him to think up that one in the WWE writers' room. Probably about. I'm gonna gauge
I'm gonna
2 minutes. I'm gonna gay 2 minutes, man. Two
Damn.
gay minutes that it took him
Damn.
to come up with.
Damn, that's tough. But then there was so much other shit in 2009. There was Gears of War 2, Modern Warfare 2.
Damn. Oh yeah, Gears
Uncharted
2 did
2.
come out in 2009. I was thinking about Gears 2.
I think
like
Halo
yesterday.
3. Halo 3 is a 2007
Halo 3 was.
game.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it was 07.
I thought it was a 2009 game on the walk. Was Army of Two 2009?
I don't know. Never played it.
It might have been 2008. But there's so much shit that is surprisingly old now. Adventure Time is so fucking old now. Adventure Time is 15 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Regular show is 15 this year.
Damn, that's crazy. The first my mom joke is like probably 15 years old now. People have been saying my mom for 15 years. Isn't that crazy?
It's because it's a classic. It's
Yeah,
one of
it's a
those things
classic
you
line. It's
always
funny.
want to keep. You know who else wants to keep it?
You know who
My mom. Fuck yeah, dude.
Anytime I hear somebody anytime I hear somebody say the phrase in passing, like, "Oh yeah, you know who else?" Always like, "Say my mom. Say my mom.
Say my fucking mom.
Say
It's the
say
best
my
joke
mom.
in the world.
Say my mom. It's funny. It's funny. Say it." They never do. They
It's
never do.
tier A of comedy. We need to use it. Just
The only-
like
the only
slapstick,
person-
we need to keep it forever.
The only person that I joke about my mom with is like you. Like that's the only person. Nobody else.
It's because my
Nobody else
mom
does.
is such a dorky thing to say as a reply to everything that a person can say to you.
Yeah.
But it's also like the dumbest thing to say. It doubles up as a good joke.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's
I'll
kind of
never
like how we always reference World of T-shirts on every pod.
Yeah.
It's because the idea of that guy being in any predicament is really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he was Anakin in the scene where he kills Count Dooku instead?
Yeah.
Like, that'd
Have you
be so
seen
fucking funny.
Have you seen that like reaction meme people have been using where it's describing something like the first time I saw it, it was when you're on the Edmund Fitzgerald on insert date, the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk, and you hear the hatch blow open and it's World of T-shirts, and he's like, "Oh my god, what?
I can't
oh my
believe
God.
it. This is
Like, he's like-
nuts.
It's like one of his few emotions where he's actually like it's one of his like real emotions in that moment. But it works for so much shit because I was thinking about that shit today.
Yeah.
Like anytime I have to run 100 foot of hose on the job, I'm thinking like, oh my God. What? Oh my God.
I kept remembering for a span of like 2017 to 2021, whenever I would play Grand Theft Auto, I would immediately like try to put in, "It's a watermelon inside a watermelon." That old Vine. I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately, but I would always try to reference it, even if it makes no sense. Like we would run into a wall during a heist, and I would go, "It's a watermelon inside a watermelon," and Cody would say, "Shut the fuck up! We need to get moving." I kind of miss Intensity Cody. It's been a while since I've heard Intensity Cody.
Yeah, I haven't heard. When was the last time I heard Intensity? I don't even think Intensity Cody came out when when he was driving us out of New York and into New York.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, he did, because we were going through the Lincoln Tunnel and we had a bag of sour Skittles and Ben and I were just throwing them out the window at the Lincoln Tunnel as we were going through it.
He was crashing out for you throwing the sour Skittles.
Well, like this wasn't. This was like a collective building of like resentment in him taking us, because we'd be on the road and we'd just be throwing them out the window and shit like that, and the car would be coming and we'd be like, "Oh man, throw a Skittle at the car challenge! Throw a Skittle at the car challenge!" Or we'd see like a sign going into like Pennsylvania or whatever, or New Jersey, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's the throw the Skittles at the sign challenge!" We'd be like yelling at shit. And meanwhile, Cody drove us the entire fucking way and had to deal with that. I remember we were
so
at one point we were throwing them in the tunnel, and he's like, "You guys are fucking retards." He's completely done with shit.
What's another good bit? Fucking raging so hard on Battlefield 1 that I kept calling Alex from over there. I kept calling him like Sandy bitch or something like that every time I would talk to him. And and then like 2 years later, 3 years later, literally one of the first DMs between me and Alex is me saying, "Sup, Sandy bitch." And I've never apologized.
I wouldn't. I've called Alex so many racial slurs, and I mean, hey, I'm just going to say this right now. Somebody says the hard R a lot, and for once it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's another?
I think it's okay.
What's another one that I used to do back in like 2018? Oh, I used to call Clay an asshole, but not mean it at all. So I would like get ran over by his car in Grand Theft Auto, and I'd be like, "Oh, you fucking asshole!" Like I would chuckle to it, so you could tell the difference.
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, one thing I like doing was like convincing people, like just gaslighting people. I gaslit a good friend of mine named Jacob, and there's people who can verify this too. I gaslit him for like a solid 3 months. This was the long con for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had him going for 3 months that he thought that I was a flat earther. So one day I just kind of said it offhand, and he actually believed me. So I just started going with it. And so what I would do is I would just look up different like flat earth conspiracy theory talking points and like some of like their arguments that the world is flat, and I would like research them and like really get around the argument. So I got really good at defending the flat Earth conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But I had him going for 3 months. And anytime anything about the Earth came up, or like if we saw a globe somewhere, I'd be like, that's flat, right? And he'd get fucking like pissed at me and be like, no, the fuck it's not. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking retard. Like, just meanwhile, I'm laughing to the fucking bank here. Like, and I did one to Cody too, where I convinced him that like one of the prerequisites to becoming a police officer was getting shot. And he immediately, his bullshit alarm went off when I told him that, and he's like, that's not true. And I was like, yes, it is. So we started going back and forth and arguing about it. And
Nice.
I was like, well, my grandfather's a police officer, and he has a scar in his leg from where they shot him in police training. And he's like, wait, for real? And I was like, yes. And he was like, oh my, like, he was like, holy shit, like, dude, they, like, why do they fucking do that? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm fucking with you right now. They don't actually do that. And he was like, you fucking asshole.
I don't remember. I think I gaslighted Jordan once about Alexander Hamilton, of all things, which is like such an easy thing to fact correct me on. And I was like, yeah, fucking Aaron Burr shot himself right after anyways. Like, he was super depressed. Something like that. And Jordan was like, what? And I was like, yeah, fucking Aaron Burr's been dead the same amount of time Hamilton's been dead. What do you mean? Like, I straight up just like to his face told him that. And he was like, I think that's wrong, but I'm not sure.
That's cooked.
What's another good one that I did? I think I've mentioned this one before on the pod, actually, but I'll do it again. So I was still over in Ohio, and this was like a decade ago, something like that. I was in middle school, and instead of more of like a gaslight, this is more of like just straight making a guy feel terrible, and then him being like, oh, you fucking dick. So I am in a science class, I believe, and we're trying to get done with the project or whatever, the assignment. And then I'm like, well, I'm done doing that, right? I say that exact phrase, and the guy goes, well, I just got done doing your mom. And I immediately put my head down and started sniffling like I was sad and I was crying.
Yeah.
I even was going like into my arms. And then I hear him going, oh shit, did I fucking ruin him? Oh shit. Hey, go check on him. Go check on him. He tells the guy next to him, go check on him. The guy next to him taps me on the back, and I spring up like I'm an asshole. And I just start laughing at him and pointing at him. I'm like, ha, you fucking fell for that, idiot.
Yeah.
Just like the most distressful situation somebody can be put through. And I just made it into a big joke. And I don't know if that's good for anybody's conscience. At the time, I was like fucking 14, something like that. So I probably didn't even realize the psychological damage I probably did to that guy, like, immediately.
Yeah.
But I did that shit.
I just remembered another gaslight that I used to do. I would like apply for jobs, and then I would gaslight them into thinking that I was like a really good employee, and then I'd show up for a week straight and then just start calling off all the fucking time. Just all the time calling off.
What's a good prank I did? Damn. I don't really have a lot of pranks. Surprising.
Always try and get people with the classic, like, shocking yourself in an outlet, but it never works. I haven't got that shit to work on anyone.
A bit of my physical comedy is that I try to do like the Gmod death pose randomly just to see if someone notices. So I'll do an example for the visual watchers. But usually I'm like in the middle of a conversation and I just...
Oh, yeah, just ragdoll.
Yeah, I just fucking like fall back and act like I'm dead for like 2 to 30 seconds. Some crazy shit that I used to do that I know pissed people off, Shane, was I would walk through Walmart and I would just not stop staring at people. Like, they would walk by me, and I would just keep staring at them and have my eyes follow them just to piss them off. This was when I was, like, in 9th grade. I straight up just kept doing that, where I would just walk by somebody, just every single fucking time. And I'm surprised no one called me out on it, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do that. That's weird. That creeps me out. Yeah. Fuck you. Nobody did that. But that's one of the things I used to do.
Oh, I'm running out of topics here. Fuck.
Fuck you.
Are we gonna have to?
I don't think so.
Current events again.
I don't
Afghanistan.
think so. I don't think so. It's fine. I'll just bring up a wrestling pay-per-view and see if that keeps any retention on the podcast. Yes, I used a big gamer algorithm-y word with retention. But in 1977, there was a pay-per-view right at the tail end, like December 28th, 1997, called Starrcade, and it had Hulk Hogan versus Sting in the main event. And everybody was so excited for it that only half of the roster actually competed that night, which is atrocious. Don't book wrestling shows that way. Like, Booker T was in the crowd and shit. Rey Mysterio was in the crowd. But I'll just quickly zoom into the fact that almost every match outside of the Eddie Guerrero-Dean Malenko match for the Cruiserweight Championship was filler. It was just stuff that didn't need to be there. It was stuff like randomly putting Randy Savage in a match, even though he wasn't on the card to start, so it made no sense. And they're trying to hype up the main event as much as possible. They're like, it's 18 months in the making. It's going to be one of the best things ever produced in wrestling history. It's going to be great, right? And God, there is nothing in this show outside of Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero that stands out. Because everybody's wearing gray, everybody's wearing jean shorts, everybody's wearing NWO. All over the place. There's nothing to stand out. And then the main event goes down as one of the worst main events they've ever done. You would think Hulk Hogan and Sting would, like, be the greatest end-all, be-all, best match you could think of. It's going to be a 20 to 30 minute legend of a match. Instead, Hulk Hogan goes, man, I don't want to lose clean. I don't want to lose clean to Sting. This is bullshit. Fuck that. He straight up says that.
Yeah.
He sounds like a whiny little bitch instead of, brother, that's not going to work for me, brother. He's not doing any of that shit. He's like, I don't want to. So, they have their match. There's a lot of leg drops. There's a lot of punch kick. There's a lot of on the ropes. There's a lot of slide outside, hit people. And then, a fast count. Do. Huh? That's fucking stupid. That doesn't make sense. Hulk Hogan just won by a fast count. Do. What the fuck? So, very quickly, Bret Hart, former very well-known wrestler, he still was well-known at the time, and this is like a month after the Montreal Screwjob. Maybe 2.
Oh, yeah. Classic WE moment.
So Bret Hart runs out and he's like, "You're not gonna screw him like you screwed me." He's like real frustrated because he was screwed literally 2 months ago. So he slides in and he says, restart the match, I'm gonna be the ref, fuck this. And they restart the match. And they do a bunch more punch kick. Bret Hart most likely, well, I actually watched this shit. He definitely interferes in some shape or form. I believe hitting Hulk Hogan with the belt. And then Sting gets Hulk Hogan into his submission, which is called the Scorpion Deathlock. Hulk Hogan taps. But Sting wins the belt, and only like 2 weeks later, he has to vacate it because they're like, there was too much screwy finishes. This is bullshit. A lot of people were writing in to WCW saying, you can't do that. That's bullshit. So, that is the end of Starrcade. And then they vacate the belt. They have a tournament. Sting wins it again. So, he has 2 championship reigns that are separated by a vacated situation. And outside of how screwy of a finish that is, like, there is nothing else outside of Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko to watch on this whole pay-per-view. And people started realizing, oh, this is actually very shit. This is kind of bad. Maybe we should hop over to the WWF. Because Royal Rumble 98 comes around. Stone Cold wins the Royal Rumble. Baby. And it sways a lot of people away. This guy's beating up his boss. This guy's stunnering his boss, and he just wants to drink beer all the time. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, isn't that what everybody wants to do? Stone Cold stunner their boss and drink beer all the time? Because that's what I want to fucking...
So, in short, Starrcade 97 pretty much is the shifting point for WWF to take up the number 1 spot. And then the Rumble happens, and then Mike Tyson was the year before, so in 98 it would be Stone Cold versus, I believe, unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong, I believe he's facing The Rock.
Yeah, Stone Cold versus The Rock.
But I will quickly double check WrestleMania 15 and make sure I get this right. Because he's either facing The Rock 69. Or he's facing somebody else.
Dwayne.
Oh, I'm actually meaning WrestleMania 14, and it is the Mike Tyson match. And he's facing Shawn Michaels. That is such a good fucking main event, actually. And it sucks that my brain didn't connect the dates right.
Yeah.
But yeah. In general, at the same time, around that time for WCW, Hulk Hogan became more of a dick. Nobody really got pushed except for Goldberg and Bret Hart. And that's about it. And that's all because of Starrcade being ass Just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one of these times for the pod, I should have like Wrestling 101 or something.
Yeah. We can react to Stone Cold's funniest moments.
Stone
The
Cold
Stone Cold
funny
strut.
moments #1.
Dude, if I ever got in a fight and I beat the guy in the fight, I'd hit the Stone Cold strut afterwards. I think that'd be so funny.
I would really like to hit somebody with the what's it called? Shit. The fucking figure 4. Ric Flair's figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah.
And then start doing the Ric Flair strut right after. Oh, that would go hard. That would actually be very fucking fun.
Dude, if I fought in the UFC, I would totally be hitting a Stone Cold strut every night.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, the
Every
Stone Cold
night.
strut is just boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
No, he does it in like a funny way. Because he's making fun of the Ric Flair strut.
Yeah.
But he does it like he bounces off the ring.
Yeah.
The fucking bands, whatever those are fucking things
The ropes.
are called. The ropes. And he bounces off the ropes and hits a like real wide, like
Yeah.
it's really funny. I love that.
I remember
So
when
good at owning people.
I remember when Triple H when he looked like Mr. McMahon for a promo in 2006 and he went down to the mat, he would do the strut. Heck, he even did the big man walk that Vince McMahon used to do all the time.
Yeah. I like that one too. That one's another classic. The Vince McMahon.
They need to make that like a t-shirt, but have it behind bars. The big man strut behind bars. Oh,
Surprised
man.
nobody's made. I'm sure somebody has, but I haven't seen it. But nobody's made a meme where it's Vince McMahon fucking turning his head. That one classic meme.
Yeah.
And fucking made it about his fucking court case. Because I would be doing that in a heartbeat.
Oh man, I kind of miss like early 2000s wrestling.
That's probably one of the heydays of it for
Because
just the intense
Yeah.
fucking like just complete and total like reality show style like drama
Yeah.
with the storylines and shit, and
there's
like some of the best matches are there. It
There's
was like
so
at
much
its
good
biggest
stuff.
probably at that point.
Yeah, because they had the Dudley Boys, they had the Hardy Boys, they had Edge and Christian, they had Chris Jericho and I think Mysterio as a team for like a microsecond. And then they had Goldberg in 2003. That was pretty peak shit. They had DDP, Diamond Dallas Page.
EDP? Eat that pussy 445.
DDP, not EDP.
Yeah.
But there was also, oh my gosh, what else here? Hulk Hogan came back.
Yeah, that's true.
Scott Hall came back. Booker T joined. Booker T, honestly, was kind of the GOAT for like multiple years for WCW stuff. But yeah, like additionally, like 2000 to 2005 WWE is so peak because they also have Guerrero, they have Benoit, they have Randy, they have Batista, they have John Cena, they have Brock Lesnar, they have Big Show, all in that fucking range. Like that goes so hard. They have Undertaker, they have Shawn Michaels. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Bret Hart didn't get his head kicked in by Goldberg, he probably would have been there too.
Yeah.
Damn. And now it's getting better again. There was a weird like weak spot in 2015 to like 2020.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to build up again. It's getting better.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like I feel like you don't have like the same icons in wrestling nowadays that you might have had, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing because I can't really think. I can think of the fucking Da Vinci fucking guys, but they're not like, they're not in the WWE or what.
What do you mean? Big Boom AJ was in an AEW match.
Oh yeah, that's right. Those guys are in AEW, but that's like the Costco guys, and like, aren't one of the Paul brothers a fucking WWE
Logan Paul's
wrestler?
a WWE guy.
Yeah, I want to fucking watch. I want to go to WWE and watch Logan Paul win the belt. Go fuck yourself, dude. I ain't doing that shit. Like, I don't know. I like, cause all these guys are like old as shit now. That like we sit here and dick ride all the time, and it's like, well, who's gonna take their place? Like it. Like I just
Like,
I want the new
Cena,
talent to have that same.
Like
get that,
Cena
like,
and
work hard
Randy
for
Orton
that
kind of
same-
hold it down, but they're also
Yeah,
old.
they can hold it down. Yeah, but like aren't they like Hogan's age now when Hogan came back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Hogan came
I
back
can
when
see
he was
that.
like 52,
Yeah.
and then now John Cena is 47, 48, something like that. And Randy Orton's like 46.
Yeah, they can still fucking hold it down, but they're not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So, some of the new talent, like I don't not have faith in think, the new talent's going to be good and shit, but
Yeah.
when am I going to see a guy hit the ring cooler than Stone Cold?
Well,
I don't know. I'm not seeing it anytime in the
Yeah.
future that there's going to be anybody like on that same level as like guys like him and pretty much every fucking name that we've talked about within the past 10 fucking years,
Yeah, that is tough. Like they were trying to
And
fill
I don't
in the
say that like a
gaps.
bad thing. I just say that as like an observation I'm
Yeah.
making. Like, when are we going to get that star power that some of these guys that we like, had back in the day?
Yeah, they were trying to fill in the gaps with guys like Carlito and Alberto Del Rio and CM Punk and The Miz. But I don't even know if that generation of wrestlers is that good. Because that's like mid to late 2000s. You know what I mean? Like the aughts to 10. Like that little span, I don't think has enough people. But if you look at like AJ Styles, he is like an outlier. So is Samoa Joe. But those guys are both like 40. So trying to get younger guys from like the 2010s to the 2020s into a bunch more stuff would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did that big company merger in 2001, it kind of beat up on everything else. Like they literally could not hire outside people for like years. So I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time until it gets as big as like Stone Cold, But I do not know which guy would get a Stone Cold level boost. It's one of those.
Right.
Anyway, I believe that is the end of this week's Northwest Trenches podcast. I did it with a spooky.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, I'm scared. Oh my god, I'm so scared.
This is not
Stop.
good for me. This is not
Stop,
good.
you're scaring me. Stop.
I have
Oh my
palpitation
God.
issues. Don't do that.
Oh my god. I need to take a prophylactic 'cause I'm so scared.